guilty about surviving when somebody died.
As a therapist, would you call this guilt irrational?
Ursula Steinmetz wasn't like that.
That's right. She didn't blame herself. She blamed her husband.
When she got sick, he did everything for her. He carried her to the bathroom, up the stairs. On Sundays, he would go through the park, no matter how tired he got.
Not the picture of a murderer.
Objection?
Withdrawn. What, if any, indications did you have that your mother committed suicide, Mrs. Fair?
Over the past 5 months, her condition deteriorated. She didn't want to burden us anymore. After a few days before she died, I went to visit her, and she showed me where she could do well. She told me that she wanted to have all her things in order.
No more questions.
She never talked about the woman in the position she's lying.
Recess, Your Honor.
Early lunch, be back in 2 hours.
Only 5 bucks more for junior times 2. Double the juniors, that's your due. One for you, one for your friends to go. JK, you hate a bolt, they'll never know. BK, having your way.
1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
If you were on your way down to the precinct, we can give you a ride.
If you're telling the truth, why did you wait until now to mention your mother's will?
You heard the rabbi has clearly killed your mother.
Knowing what your father did, how can you live with yourself if you haven't go free?
How can I live with myself if I don't?
Just because you're losing doesn't mean you can change the rules. This is called tampering.
I am not tampering with a witness. I am now talking to a defendant. Mrs. Fetter, you committed perjury. As such, you are an accomplice after the fact.
You cannot turn Laura against me.
Things haven't changed much, have they, sir? 50 years ago, you protected yourself at the expense of others. Your wife is now dead, and your daughter's going to go to prison so you can go free.
Against my better judgment, my client will deal if you drop the charges against his daughter.
We've traveled a long way to come back to where we started.
There's one other condition, Mr. Stone. The record of my father's trial must be sealed.
Murder too serves it nice.
25 years, come on, Ben. Had he walked the streets for another hour, nobody would have ever heard of David Steinmetz.
Mr. Steinmetz. Sir, you really didn't know how many pills your wife had taken?
She could not live with this. When I came home, she was on the floor.
And if you confessed to assisted suicide, nobody would ask any questions. That'd be 1 year instead of 25, right?
And the SS officer, he came to our home. He gave us cake. We barely had bread. He told me that if I could convince my neighbors to cooperate, none of us would be harmed. I was 19. If I didn't do it, somebody else would have. People lived